All right, so let's start. Welcome back. Today we cover six current affairs, sharp, relevant, exam ready. Let's go. Uh, sorry. Yeah. So first topic is the SC bans Class 8 textbook. The Supreme Court has ordered withdrawal of a Class 8 NCRT history textbook, citing factually incorrect content and communal bias. The court directed NCRT to revise the textbook within 3 months. Now, this is important because the court's order follows a PIL alleging the textbook misrepresents historical events and promotes communal disharmony. Now, NCRT is established under the Education Ministry as autonomous body with curriculum development mandate. Education is in the concurrent list, meaning both center and states can legislate. All right. So we have the Supreme Court, which is the apex court with the power under Article 32 to enforce fundamental rights, textbook ban, NCRT autonomy, independence of the curriculum body to design educational content without interference, curriculum control, authority to determine what subjects and subject content are to be taught in the schools, Article 2 to 6, constitutional provision enabling high courts to issue writs for rights enforcement, and educational federalism, which is division of education powers between center and state governments. All right, so we have next is critical minerals strategic center launched. So the government has established a critical mineral strategic center with 12,000 crore corpus to secure supply of lithium, cobalt, nickel, rare earths, and other minerals essential for batteries, electronics, and defense systems. Now, this matters because India imports 100% of lithium and cobalt, crucial for EV batteries and energy storage. Then China controls 60% of lithium processing, 80% of rare earths refining, and 70% of cobalt processing globally. Then we have the Atmanirbhar Bharat Minerals Mission, which is this connects to multiple initiatives: PLI for better battery manufacturing, semiconductor mission, and EV adoption targets. So without critical minerals, these plans fail. And the automotive industry needs 300,000 tons of lithium annually by 2030 for India's EV targets. Critical minerals, natural resources essential for technology, defense, clean energy, and vulnerable supply chains. Then we have the strategic reserve, which is government stockpile of essential commodities for emergencies and price stability. Lithium, mineral critical for EV batteries and energy storage systems. Rare earths, group of 17 elements essential for electronics, magnets, and defense applications. Supply chain security, which is ensuring reliable access to inputs despite global disruptions. And mineral mission, which is a government initiative securing critical mineral supplies for strategic industries. Then the next topic is the SC on bulldozer justice. The Supreme Court has declared bulldozer justice, demolishing homes of accused persons without due process, unconstitutional. The court held that the property cannot be demolished as punishment without trial and conviction. Now, several state governments demolished homes and shops of persons accused of rioting or crimes, claiming these were illegal constructions. Critics argued demolitions targeted specific communities and served as collective punishment without trial. Article 21 guarantees that no person shall be deprived of property except according to the procedure established by law. The procedure must be fair, reasonable, and provide opportunity to defend. Now, bulldozer actions violated this. Families evicted with hours' notice, property demolished before courts could hear challenges. Then the practice often targeted families and neighbors of accused persons who had no connections to alleged crimes. Demolishing a joint family home punishes children, elderly, and women who are not accused of anything. Then we have the bulldozer action, right, which is the practice of demolishing the properties of accused person as extrajudicial punishment. Due process, constitutional requirement of a fair procedures without depriving person of rights. Article 21, fundamental right to life and personal liberty, including property protection. Rule of law, principle that law governs society and applies equally without arbitrary action. Extrajudicial punishment, penalties imposed without trial, conviction, or legal authorization. Property rights, legal rights to own, use, and dispose of property protected by constitution. Then we have the India Canada relations collapse, which is basically India Canada diplomatic relations have frozen completely after Canadian intelligence alleged Indian government involvement in activities on Canadian soil. Now India rejects the allegations as baseless, expelled Canadian diplomats, and suspended visa services. Intelligence sharing through Five Eyes network has stopped. Trade negotiations are frozen and diaspora tensions are escalating. Now, this represents the world's worst bilateral crisis since relations normalized in the 1980s. Now, the conflict centers on Khalistan movement supporters in Canada. Canada has large Punjabi Sikh diaspora, including some advocating for Khalistan, a separate Sikh homeland for Indian territory. India designates these groups as terrorists. Canada allows them under free speech protections, angering India. Now, India and Canada cooperated on counterterrorism through Five Eyes network information sharing. This ended immediately. Canada is Five Eyes member alongside US, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. the Anglosphere Intelligence Alliance. Canada has 1.8 million Indian origin residents, second largest Indian diaspora after US. Most maintain ties to India and contribute economically, but Khalistan issue creates wedge. India government sees Canadian political parties quoting Khalistani voters for electoral gains, tolerating anti-India activities for vote banks. Now India-Canada relations, the bilateral ties between two Commonwealth democracies now in crisis. Khalistan movement, demand for separate six state from Indian territory. Five Eyes intelligence, Anglosphere intelligence sharing alliance of US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Diplomatic freeze, which is suspension of normal bilateral engagement due to major disputes. Diaspora politics, political activities of immigrants and descendants in host country affecting homeland relations. And Justin Trudeau, which is Canadian Prime Minister, whose allegations triggered the diplomatic crisis. Next important news is the Micron Semiconductor Fab opens. The Micron technology has inaugurated India's first advanced semiconductor fabrication facility in Gujarat with $2.75 billion investment. The plant will manufacture DRAM memory chips used in computers, smartphones, and servers with initial capacity of 100,000 wafers annually. Now, this marks a milestone in India's semiconductor mission, aiming to build a complete chip manufacturing ecosystem domestically. Now, the Micron chip in Sanand near Ahmedabad is India's first facility producing advanced chips below 14 nanometer process technology. Previous Indian efforts remained at older 180 nanometer chips technology for basic chips. Micron received 7,000 crore subsidy under PLI scheme covering 50% of the capital cost. Now, DRAM, dynamic random access memory, is different from logic chips that process information. India's focus is building the complete semiconductor value chain. Micron's fab complements upcoming logic chip facilities from TAR Semiconductor and Tata Electronics. Beyond Micron, multiple chip fabrication, assembly testing, and packaging facilities are under construction. Semiconductor ecosystem requires raw materials, equipment, suppliers, design, software, technical workforce, and research infrastructure. The government is funding IIT programs, setting up semiconductor research centers, and negotiating technology transfer from Netherlands, Japan, and US. So, Micron Technology again, is American semiconductor company manufacturing memory chips globally. Semiconductor fab, fabrication facility manufacturing integrated circuits and chips, DRAM chips, dynamic random access memory used in computing devices for temporary data storage. The Gujarat facility is the first advanced semiconductor manufacturing plant in India near Ahmedabad. PLI Semiconductor production link incentive scheme subsidizing chip manufacturing investments and Make in India initiative promoting domestic manufacturing and reducing import dependence. Then we have the SEBI MF categories expansion. So SEBI has approved 12 new mutual fund categories, allowing AMCs to launch funds investing in specific themes like artificial intelligence, renewable energy, infrastructure bonds, and emerging markets. Previously, SEBI restricted funds to broad categories to prevent proliferation. The new the new framework maintains investor protection while enabling innovation as financial markets evolve and new investment themes emerge. Now, this is important because the new categories include AI and technology fund, climate and renewable energy fund, infrastructure bond fund, defense and aerospace fund, and healthcare innovation fund, among others. Each category has defined investment mandate, risk profile, and benchmark. Now, this allows investors to access thematic investments professionally managed rather than picking individual stocks. Indian mutual fund industry has grown to about 60 lakh crores AUM, but remained concentrated in few categories. Equity funds invested broadly across sectors, debt funds and fixed incomes, and hybrid funds mixing both. Now, previously, AMCs launched some theme funds within generic equity category, creating confusion about actual investments. Some technology funds held banks, some infrastructure funds held unrelated stocks. SEBI's clear mandate ensure funds invest as named. Now, SEBI is basically the Security and Exchange Board of India, capital markets regulator. Mutual funds is again the investment vehicles pooling money to invest in securities professionally. Asset management is professional management of investments on behalf of clients. Investment categories is classification of funds based on asset allocation and investment strategy. Then we have the financial regulation, which is the rules governing financial markets, ensuring stability and investor protection. And investor protection is the regulatory measures safeguarding investor interest from fraud and malpractice. So that's today's session. Stay consistent, stay sharp. See you tomorrow. Thank you.